All right, guys, just week two in the books. Philip's been Philip was using an analogy of a 16-round championship boxing match. I like the analogy, likened it to, this is round two, so it's a 16-round fight, and but wanted to go out and have a solid round. We did that in all three phases. I believe that, coming in watching the film today, really defensively, we really shined. We played very well from start to finish on defense, and really good in every area, in every aspect of our defensive play. So there are obviously things to clean up, defensively as well, but it was a good outing. Offensively, got the run game back on track a little bit. Still think we can do better, but that was a good day yesterday. The offensive line really was physical, came off the ball hard and consistent all day long, able to make plays in the passing game. I thought Philip was particularly sharp, and looked good. And then special teams wise, just thought it was a solid performance as well. So we need to learn from the mistakes and get better for week three, for round three, should we say, for the analogy. Just a couple of updates on injury. After being evaluated at the hospital yesterday, Rock, was diagnosed with a non-football related illness. I'm not going to go into the details of that right now, but it's too early to tell what his status will be for this week. Matt Adams, had the ankle injury yesterday, as you saw, and we'll continue to monitor that. And Parris, I'm sure you saw the news, the MCL, PCL injury, he's going to miss some time. We're going to just continue to evaluate his injury, really to make the determination on his status. So we'll leave that up to the doctors. Not sure if he's going to need a procedure yet, but we'll defer to our doctors and training staff there. And then obviously with Hook, with Malik, unfortunately he did have an Achilles injury that will end the season. Obviously I just talked to Malik a little bit ago. Feel awful for him. He was really, had a great off season and was playing well in many respects. So tough news for him, but believe if Malik's best football is ahead of him, and hopefully he'll have he'll go through this recovery very quickly. So open it up from there.
All right, Phil.
Hey, Coach, forgive the ramble for a second here. Obviously, the media and fans are asking about injuries around the league today, and of course the Colts have their share here. People wonder if the preseason had something to do with it, and I tell them that these guys are in the peak conditions of their careers. You had three guys here in 2 weeks that had excellent camps. Is the answer simply this is just football?
Yeah, I think the answer. Yeah, I think injuries happen. It's hard. It's such a small sample size, 2 weeks of a season. I know it's early. I know in some respects it seems like it's more than normal, and I don't know if it actually is, to be honest with you. Maybe just feels that way given the context of everything. But at some level, it is football. Sometimes injuries do come in gluts, unfortunately. I know our players came in here in great shape. And our guys who've gotten hurt were in great physical condition, and I think in good football condition. So sometimes it's just part of the game.
Mike Chappell.
Thank you.
Frank, you talked about last night on maybe teaching moments on offense. Right now, you're small sample size, near the bottom of the league in red zone and third down. What gives you the encouragement that this is going to change and back where you normally are?
Yeah, our players and coaches. We got really good players. We got really good coaches. We've been a good red zone team. We've been a good third down team, over time. So just have a lot of confidence. And sometimes, Chap, as you know, like some of those statistics are deceiving. Now we got to. I know we're I think we're near the bottom in both of those. I haven't looked at the rankings, but I'm sure we are. But like yesterday, for instance, on a 3rd and 6, I called a run. That ended up in 4th and 1, and then we went for it on 4th and 1, and we made it. So, to me, that the third down stats will never show that, but that's a conversion. I don't know I'm not sure if that last possession we had where we're kneeling down, we're right on the 20-yard line. I don't know if that ends up counting or not, but some of those stats are deceiving. But believe me, we're not putting our head in the sand and saying that, we're good. We need to get better. We need to get better on third down and in the red zone. But we just have a lot of confidence that we'll get there.
Just one quick follow-up while I've got you. The TY with 2 rough games, do you talk to him or will he just come out of it?
No, not at all. I mean, yesterday, you guys probably saw, but on that long one yesterday, I didn't ask TY. I don't think I had to ask him. I know this. I believe the sun was a factor. I was talking about it before the game. I told our guys up in the booth, I told our guys up in the booth, I said, all right, hey, let's keep track, where the sun is, what time of day it is, because it is a little bit of a factor. When we practiced there a couple of weeks ago, we had an issue or two handling a punt. When we had to look into the wind, look into the sun. Honestly, I was trying to call that pass when we were going the other way, knowing that TY would have to look back into it, but it just didn't come up that way. You can try to plan for that, but it just came up that we felt like that was the perfect time to call it, and we just had to take our chances. 99% of the time, it's not going to be a factor, but I just think it was that 1% that TY looked up at the wrong time, at the wrong way, and caught the ball in the sun. And then at the last second, he just kind of lost it. He lost vision of it at the last second. So I'm not worried about TY. He's the last guy I worry about.
Okay, Joel Erickson.
Frank, I'm sorry if you said this when you mentioned it before, but Rock has been released from the hospital.
I do not know that.
Okay, Jim Aiello.
Yeah, Frank, Philip talked yesterday, and he kind of made a joke, I guess, about it, but about the stigma, I guess, that comes with being labeled a game manager. I was just curious why do you think that has a negative connotation, and do you mind using that phrase, I guess, in a positive way?
Yeah, I don't know why it has a negative connotation to it. Actually, I think I do, because it's typically used on guys that you don't feel like can go out and put the team on your shoulders and go win a game by playing great football. So I think that's generally how the term is used. So anybody who's done what Philip has done in his career and thrown as many touchdowns, game winners, fourth quarter comebacks, all the stuff that he's done, I can understand why that might make him chuckle. That being said, at some level, every quarterback has to be a game manager. I mean, it's part of the position.
Okay, Zach Kiefer.
Frank, I know how this league works, and when you lose a star to an injury, you just go to the next guy, and they got to step up. But Marlon Mack, Malik Hooker, Parris Campbell, key cogs to your team, and guys who are in really important spots in their career in terms of getting contracts. How do you deal with that? And how does the locker room deal with that? Because, let's be honest, it's gotta hurt them.
Yeah, well, first of all, on a personal level, because you get close to these guys, you just hurt for them personally, like you said, especially when it's a contract year. That's just bad, and you feel terrible for the person. As far as the team is concerned, you acknowledge that it's a loss. Everybody is an important part of the cog of the wheel, but you also have to believe and understand that we got plenty of talent here to step in and step up and take their place. So, we believe that, and we have confidence in that. So you can feel both of those things. You can feel the confidence that we got the next man up mentality, but you can also still feel the pain and hurt for the individual player. Hey, let me give you guys this quick update that Matt just handed me. That Rock has been released from the hospital. So just wanted to clarify that. Sorry for not knowing that.
Okay, Kevin Bone.
Hey, Frank, with the naked eye, you were pretty high on Julian Blackman's play yesterday. Do you think he's a guy that could slide into a Malik starting role?
Yeah, he did play well, watching the tape. Was played in a limited capacity, was on a rep count. We'll continue to evaluate. But yeah, that's, he came here to compete for a starting job. Obviously very high on Julian, and he showed everything that we wanted and expected to see from him yesterday. So would certainly have that expectation, given Hook's injury, that he could step into that role.
Okay, Mike Wells.
Hey, Frank, I wanted to ask you about when you got hired 2 years ago and Chris Ballard came up to you and said, hey, we're going to pull this trade off of the Jets and slide back 3 spots. You're a first-time head coach, and you're coming to a team that didn't miss the playoffs the previous season. What was your reaction when he told you we're going to move back 3 spots?
Trust Chris. That's his job. That's what he was hired to do. He's hired to lead the ship, in that regard. And now he didn't just say, hey, we're going to move back 3 spots. There was a whole lot of other conversation with that. Here's why, here's what we think is going to happen. All those other things. And, part of that discussion was that, we knew how we wanted to build the team, the kind of players, knew that Quentin Nelson was in the equation, knew that he was in the equation. He wasn't the only guy in the equation because you can't just bank on that. You never know. But we felt some confidence he would be available. So, I just trusted Chris, and turned out to be a great move.
And to follow up with that, guards aren't normally taken that high. But as you watched Quentin, when you scouted him and you knew there was a chance that was going to be the guy, did you say, okay, this guy is a legit, top 5, obviously he was taking a number 6, top 5 type talent in that draft?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with Chris on this. I mean, for this big of a move, both in the trading back and of the drafting of a guard, as you're saying, at that position, I think it's appropriate to say that it was probably good that the GM and the head coach both 100% agreed that this is a generational player. And that was the case in evaluating Quentin.
Okay, we'll take a few more. Stephen Holder.
Hey, Frank, I know both in weeks 1 and 2, offensively, there are some things that you feel like you can continue to fine tune in both games, but they were very different types of games, I think, from you offensively, the way you attacked your opponent. Is that just you reacting to, what you're given, or is it a sign that, you are a versatile offense? I guess, what does that indicate to you? What do you take away from that? They seem like very different types of games.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. It is a sign that we're versatile. It is a sign that we're reacting to what's given. In week 1, I just think that we came out looking explosive in the pass game early, continued to have success in the pass game, had moderate success, only moderate success in the run game. The problem, as you guys all know, is that you can be having really good success in the pass game, but the risk of throwing it, there's more negative things that can happen when you throw it than percentages, interceptions, sacks, all that kind of stuff. So there is a cost of those explosive plays. And that's one of the things that I've learned over the years is just because you can throw it for 400 yards doesn't always mean it's the best equation for winning. You got to find that balance. And that's really what we want to find, Stephen, is that balance. And we're certainly going to take what they give us. And if we got the hot hand running it, we'll emphasize the run. If we can throw it a little bit more, what I've learned is that even when you can throw it more, you still got to dial it back just a little bit and keep that run game going. So yeah, I think it was a little bit of both to answer the question.
Okay, George Bremer.
Jonathan Taylor obviously had a 100-yard day and a really great debut as a starter. Philip kind of mentioned afterwards that there were some little things, some vision things that he thinks when he picks those up, it'll be even better. Is there a sense in general that when his experience catches up to his skill set, there's quite a high ceiling for this guy?
Yeah, I think there's a very high ceiling. I think he ran well. I think his vision was good. I just think he'll continue to get better. Our yards per carry wasn't off the charts. We've had some games here in the last couple of years where, our yards per carry was exceedingly high. This wasn't one of those games, but our run efficiency score was very high. For us, it was, I think it was in the upper 60s, and, that's a really high score in the way we grade our run efficiency. So, we had some second and shorts where, you're running and gaining 2 yards, but that's an efficient run because it's picking up a first down, and that's what we needed to accomplish. So I think Jonathan did a good job given the situation. I think he'll continue to get better.
All right, last one, Wish TV.
Coach, we'll end this on a positive note. It's your first victory Monday at the complex. What was the mood like overall with the players, with your staff?
Well, players, just the players are player day off, except for the guys coming in to get treatment. For us, that's a little bit not normal. Our player day off is Monday. Most teams around the league, it's Tuesday. So we'll kind of get that tomorrow. But what we're doing is, we're trying to take the mode of, hey, we're not going to ride the wave of results. And that means good or bad. So win or lose, we want our Tuesdays when we come in. What we've said is that when we come in on Tuesdays, at one level, it should feel the same. What do? We come in, we go to work. We watch the tape. We figure out what we got to do to get better. We reinforce the things that we did right. At that point on Tuesday, yeah, it's normal and natural that the mood's a little bit better, a few more laughs. But there's a large part of it that really is the same. And that's the way we want it. We don't want to ride the highs and lows of the weekly results. We want to focus on getting better. So I anticipate our guys will come in tomorrow with that mindset. Let's squeeze, I think we used the term last week, let's squeeze every ounce out of the tape that we can to get better. So hopefully that's what we'll do tomorrow.